And we are live. Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa channel where I read you those crypto news articles so you don't have to. Now today, it's short and sweet is what the clickbait said because there was not that much news going on today. But also the title says, don't be like this guy where someone said $9,000 in Ethereum fees to just send $2,000 in ETH. So we just got a couple articles for you. And so it's going to be a quick one because I'm not covering at least 8 like I did over the weekend. But we got Baxter in the title too, just because. But let's go over the news, what's happening, and hopefully we can learn a couple of things so we don't make the same mistakes as some of these people do. But so again, like I said, first article is coming from Cointelegraph. And crypto user fat fingers $90,000 in fee for a 2,000 Ethereum transfer. An anonymous user appears to have accidentally spent 34 Ethereum tokens to transfer a little more than $220 in Ethereum. So definitely always be on the lookout when verifying your transaction. When you're clicking send, just don't be going pop, 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 done. Verify everything. Look at the gas fee. Make sure you know where it's going, how much you're sending. So it's like just the little things just to be just on top of it. But let's go through it. An unknown crypto user appears to have accidentally spent $90,000 in gas fees in what should have been a simple transfer of $2,200 in ETH. Now, the user spent 34.26 Ether in gas fees worth around $89,200 at the current price, just to transfer a mere 0.87 ETH worth just $2,200, according to Etherscan data cited in August 11th on an X post by the pseudonymous user DFIOC. So he was posting it, the transactions. You can kind of see. Can you see the wallet? No, you're just seeing that way they're probably keeping a little bit more hidden, but you're just seeing they spent 34.4 ETH right there. But at the time of the publication, gas fees on Ethereum network are hovering at yearly lows of between 2 and 4 GWE, meaning that a transfer of ETH should only cost a maximum of $5. Now, in percentage terms, the user overpaid more than 1,783,900% in that fee. But it's not a bad time to be transferring and moving ETH tokens around because those gas fees are really cheap compared to what we saw during the last bull run when some transactions were costing at least like $200 or more. So definitely a good time to be moving that. But the so-called fat finger transactions are not uncommon in the crypto space. On October 10th, 2023, an NFT trader paid a whopping 1,055 ETH worth 1.6 million at the time for an NFT that only cost $1,000. Now, on April 6th, an OpenSea collector spent 100 ETH at $191,000 at the time on a free NFT mint, sparking accusations of wash trading. Now, it's not just retail participants that make mistakes with transfers either. In May of 2021, Singapore-based crypto exchange Crypto.com accidentally sent $7 million to the Devamore, how do you pronounce this? The Famanogari Manaville, an Australian user of the exchange. Now, Manaville never reported the mishap and used the funds to purchase a multi-million-dollar mansion in Melbourne and sent around $4 million to an overseas bank account. She then was sentenced to 209 days in jail for dealing in the proceeds of the crime. I remember covering that article. Now, it's not always a fat finger error. While overpaying gas fees on Ethereum mainnet could have been accidental, it could have also been a sophisticated form of money laundering. The user would need to be aware of which Ethereum validator would be validating the given transaction and ensure it was submitted in the correct block. Now, from there, the anonymous user would need to have been working in lockstep with that validator to ensure that the funds were not distributed to the incorrectly entity. Now, in October of 2023 report, crypto staking firm Norstake found that a total illicit and high-risk activity on 3 Ethereum staking protocols in some areas of the mainnet hovered between 0.46% and 1.56%. Now, while this number is relatively low, Norstake said that this leads to concerns from regulated entities looking to dip their toes in liquid staking protocols and Ethereum-based decentralized finance more broadly. So this guy is not the only person who's made this mistake. Like even crypto exchanges like Crypto.com made that same mistake. They were only supposed to spend like $60 back to the person, but they ended up like adding an extra zero and being 60 million. And then again, that person spent the money, and then they still had to spend 209 days in jail. But no, so definitely don't feel like that guy. Like just again, like how can you prevent this? Just verify the transaction before you click send, because again, you're the one approving everything, so you get a chance to actually look through the transaction list, the history, and go, okay, that's correct. send, confirm. So yeah, just be careful out there when you're sending those transactions. And yeah, if you want to move some ETH around, it's definitely a great time to be playing around because again, gas fees are cheap right now. I think there was an article out there, but I missed it where it talks about how low gas fees are for ETH right now. But that is our first news article for you. What else is going on in these short list of news I got? Well, actually, this is actually a good next article for you. Like most of the news I'm covering is going to be like some, I don't know, is it fun news? It's downer news. It's not entertaining at all. But this next one is actually pretty good because it's coming from CoinGape, and just in, El Salvador announces $1.6 billion investment in Bitcoin City. El Salvador has disclosed a $1.6 billion investment by Yieldport Holdings to improve infrastructure in 2 ports, including home of the proposed Bitcoin City. So very, very nice. So this, like I said, this is some good news, especially coming from El Salvador, which was the first country in the world to make Bitcoin legalized tender. And they're still doing great with it. They're still in the green. I don't think they're down at all. And they're still adding to their pile. They're even having their volcano mine it. So yeah, El Salvador is still kicking ass in the crypto space. But yeah, let's go through this article and learn a little bit more about this $1.6 billion investment. So El Salvador has announced a $1.6 billion investment in its Bitcoin City, garnering new momentum across crypto spaces. The Turkish company Yieldport Holdings will invest $1.6 billion in 2 ports at Acajutla and La Union at the home of proposed Bitcoin City. Dubbed a Bitcoin City infrastructure investment by crypto enthusiasts, the port development will drive investments to the metropolis. Now, El Salvador discloses the $1.6 billion investment. So yeah, the Turkish firm Yieldport Holdings will invest over $1.6 billion in El Salvador for the improvement of 2 ports in its location that include the proposed Bitcoin City, according to the country's announcement on X, formerly Twitter. It is the largest private investment rolled out in the country. So yeah, it's pretty big since it's the biggest one yet. President Nayib Bukele shared a video on X explaining the moves to his citizens. The company Yieldport Holding Inc. will allocate more than $1.615 billion to the Pacific Port Union, and here we will modernize the port of Acajutla and activate finally the port of La Union. So this is definitely helping the country. This was like the little video they played, but I don't think I want to play it. It's 2 minutes long. They just go over what it was all going through. Yeah. And yeah. Just fast forward it. There's President Bukele signing the deal, accepted. But yeah, that is what President Bukele shared on Twitter earlier today. But at the moment, the port of La Union remains in a poor state with hardly any ships passing due to the port infrastructure. Now, the agreement will see Yieldport Holdings and the Autonomous Executive Port Commission manage its facilities for 50 years per the release, and the investment will start at the end of the year and be executed in stages. Now, Federico Enrique, SEPA president, noted that the move is in line with plans to strengthen seaports to position El Salvador. Now, El Salvador is becoming a very important logistics hub in Latin America with the largest private investments in the history of our country, and we are going to strengthen our seaports now. Now, Bitcoin City thrills users. El Salvador is leaning toward Bitcoin, continues to thrill users as more politicians back the asset class. Bukele announced plans for the futuristic Bitcoin City in 2021, springing up enthusiasm in the community. And the city is built to include residential and commercial commercial areas, including several monuments. Per the initial announcement, the city will be funded with crypto bonds. And yeah, so that's a pretty cool news. Congratulations, El Salvador! Like, you guys are killing it, and I just like seeing the development happen here because again, they were the first ones to make it legalized tender. And that was like the biggest news ever when we heard that. Like, that was like when I was first getting started. Like, I got involved in 2019, so around 2021, 2020, I forgot which year it was that El Salvador made it. And it was like, what? After reading so many news articles, I went, oh, this is the best time to be involved. And yeah, so they're still killing it. So that's the El Salvador news for you. Now let's move on. What else? I think someone else is picking up the MicroStrategy and adding more Bitcoin to their treasury, and not just by buying it, but doing like bonds or something with it. And now, who is that company? Well, it's actually the miner Marathon Digital. This one's coming from Bitcoin Magazine, and yes, Marathon Digital Holdings to raise $250 million to buy more Bitcoin. Marathon Digital's holding announced a $250 million private offering of convertible notes to expand its Bitcoin holdings. The Bitcoin mining firm aims to mimic MicroStrategy's corporate Bitcoin accumulation strategy. Now, again, these are just, again, another company out there acquiring more Bitcoin. Bitcoin's very scarce. There's maybe only 15 to 16 million that are ever going to be around. We say there's 21 million, but people seem to forget about the 5 to 6 million that's gone and lost forever from forgotten seed phrases, thrown away hard drives, lost wallets, they're so not. And when you got companies like this buying up, or not just like this, MicroStrategy, you got countries, governments acquiring it, it's getting very, very scarce for the common person to get their hands on it. Like, I think I was listening to Mar Investor, and he said, like, if every single person in the world were to have Bitcoin, it'd only be around like 300,000 Satoshis. And that's if all of them were available. And you're hearing these guys having like 2,000 or they're 100,000 Bitcoin. It's like, that's just taken away from the public. So get your Bitcoin while you can, but let's hear about Marathon's strategy right now. Marathon Digital Holdings, one of the US's largest publicly traded Bitcoin miners, announced plans to raise $250 million through a private offering of convertible senior notes. The funds will be used primarily to expand Marathon's Bitcoin holdings. Now, here is that tweet from Bitcoin Magazine. Breaking: Marathon Digital Holdings to raise $250 million to buy more Bitcoin, showcasing their miners in their hubs. Now, the Nevada-based company operates a fleet of miners, producing around 579 Bitcoin in July. Now, Marathon's balance sheet contains over 20,000 Bitcoin, worth over 1.1 billion. They're kind of on par with Michael Saylor. We covered that article where he found his holdings, and he's in the billions, so they're catching up to him, not the company. Now, earlier in July, Marathon bought $100 million worth of Bitcoin on the open market as part of its long-term HODL strategy. The company said it will hold all newly mined Bitcoin as reserves. Now, this latest move to raise capital for direct Bitcoin purchases mirrors the strategy pioneered by MicroStrategy. Since 2020, MicroStrategy has issued debt and sold shares to accumulate more than 220,000 Bitcoin in corporate treasury. Now, Marathon aims to position itself atop the nascent but rapidly evolving Bitcoin mining and service industry by aggressively expanding its Bitcoin stack. Now, this fundraiser approach allows public equity investors indirect exposure to Bitcoin. Now, with growth adoption from firms like MicroStrategy, Semler Scientific, and MetaPlanet, Bitcoin is emerging as a corporate treasury asset class. So, Semler Scientific, how have I not heard about these guys? Like, whenever I hear news articles, I'm always hearing MetaPlanet and MicroStrategy buying it. Now we got Marathon, but Semler Scientific. I think I need to look in the news and find how much they're actually holding or what they've been up to. So that's Marathon's news for you, though, how they're going to add more Bitcoin to their strategy. And again, like I said, get the Bitcoin while you still can. If you got spare change, come to the club. We have a machine where you can swap that change. Or if you're in El Salvador, those K1 machines came from there. And yeah, you can just, again, take your change, put it in there, you're getting Satoshis. And so I think now we need to start changing the term of owning Bitcoin to owning Satoshis, because right now, Bitcoin's at 60,000, or do we go to 58? We're at 58,000 right now. So it's like that's still kind of a hefty price for people when they say it's like, oh, I can't afford to hold Bitcoin. It's like, well, you can hold some Satoshis. And I'm always saying, get 0.01 Bitcoin, and then you're technically a millionaire. People go, huh? How are you a millionaire at that point? Well, that's technically 1 million Satoshis. Now, am I wrong that you're a millionaire? You hold 1 million Satoshis. Then that's all it takes. So get your hands on just a little bit, and you'll be good. But that's that news. We got about 3 more to go through because, again, like I said, not much that news today. Now, this next one's coming from Bitcoinist. And are you a Binance user in Venezuela? Well, Venezuela clamps down on Binance access with new web descriptions. So Venezuela-based traders say they have faced sudden restrictions in accessing Binance web pages. This comes amid widespread internet suppression in the country, in which several online platforms, including X formerly and PayPal, are experiencing the same issue. Now, in an official statement out of X, Binance's division in Latin America confirmed the news about the blockade, but said it is doing everything possible to resolve the situation as fast as possible. Now, here is that tweet from them, which I did not get to be translated. Hopefully, I'll say it down below. I'll probably say it right here. What happened? Access restrictions are more or less due to the political turmoil that occurred following the presidential elections in Venezuela a month ago. Now, as a result, the Venezuelan government imposed restrictions on all online platforms, and in the process, this has affected access to Binance. Binance, however, has stated that despite the access restrictions, it will assure its users that their funds are safe and under the custody of the exchange. Now, reports that the inaccessibility of web pages in Venezuela pose no threat to users' fund and safety. Now, hold on, let me just pause right there before I continue on about that. Like they're saying your funds are safe in their custody, but again, we know personally that the only time your funds are safe are when they're in your own possession. Self custody is the way to go. Non-custodial wallets. If it's not your keys, not your coins, and so when you use Binance, you're not giving your private keys at all or any seed phrase. You just signed with an email address. So it is not your coins out there, so you're trusting them that they're going to keep it safe. So as always, like the safest place to hold your cryptos is in your own personal wallet. So I just had to say that there. But let's continue on. Impact on Venezuela's cryptocurrency market. The huge impact of these restrictions have been felt in the crypto market in Venezuela, especially on peer-to-peer trading front. Now, the Communication Ministry, state-run telecom and internet service provider Kanto reportedly have added access restrictions and blocked access to Binance, said local papers. Now, the access limitations established for Binance users coming from Venezuela have created broader concerns as to what this means for the cryptocurrency ecosystem and the countries in question. Now, Binance is one of the largest crypto exchanges that is fervently needed for the growth and development of the crypto market in Venezuela. Now, what's the road ahead look like for this? Well, the restrictions have also shown clearly that the challenges that the crypto community face continually in the countries that have a stringent internet policy. Now, with a further push by the government on measures that will help them control online unwanted content, it is increasingly likely that users will find themselves with limited access to these cryptocurrency platforms. Now, in other words, these entry prohibits of the web pages of Binance and undoubtedly an alarm for crypto society in South America. Now, while Binance has reassured users that their funds are completely safe, these restrictions have been a huge effect on the peer-to-peer trading and other related markets in the country. Now, would be interesting to see how the crypto community keeps evolving through adaptations to new challenges following the latest restrictions in web access. Now, that's simple. Like, how are they going to do it? It's called DeFi, decentralized finance. Like, Binance is CeFi, centralized finance. You're giving them the control just to do it. Like, you really should only be using them as an on-ramp and on-ramp, but there are other better places to do that as well. Like, for me personally, if I'm doing big stuff, I prefer Caleb and Brown. They're the best over-the-counter exchange, and yeah, you're not dealing with just computers and bots out there, because any exchange out there, not just Binance, Coinbase, Robinhood, which is a stock app, Kraken. It's like an arm and a leg to get a hold of somebody, but at least with Caleb and Brown, you can talk with someone one-on-one. You have your own personal broker to help you out. And yeah, so it's like that's definitely the easiest way to be the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp location. And again, if you want to make trades, do it in the DeFi space. There's also a bunch of anonymous sites out there, trading sites out there that you don't even need an account with. It's just basically, I want to trade this coin for that coin. They give you a QR code or address to send it to. It does all the work. You just provide the address you want to receive that other coin, and it's done. So there's plenty of other ways to access cryptocurrencies, move it around, trade it. You just got to do the research out there. And if you want to learn, come to the crypto club. That's why we're here. That's why we're opening up these clubs out there, just to help educate the population that you don't need to use these centralized exchanges out there. So yeah, so that's what's going on with Binance and the restrictions in Venezuela. So hopefully you're not affected by that. But let's move on. We got about 2 more to go. Let's see. Next up, another SEC lawsuit. We just finished the Ripple case with them, and they only had to pay $125 million. Well, looks like they're at it again. This article is coming from Decrypt, and the SEC charges Novatech founders an alleged $650 million crypto scheme. The regulator's action follows a similar lawsuit against the operation by the New York Attorney General's office. So let's hear about this. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has filed charges against the founders of Novatech for running a Ponzi scheme that netted $650 million in cryptocurrency. The agency said on Monday that the SEC is accusing Cynthia and Eddie Pation of allegedly orchestrating the scam as a crypto asset investment program and a multi-level marketing company that, according to the agency, primarily targeted the Haitian American community between 2019 and 2023. Now, Novatech and the Pashins caused untold losses to tens of thousands of victims around the world. Eric Werner, director of the SEC's Fort Worth regional office, said in a statement, as we allege, MLM schemes of this size require promoters to fuel them, and today's actions demonstrate that we will hold accountable not just the principal architects of the massive scheme, but also promoters who spread their fraud by unlawfully soliciting the victims. Now, in June, New York Attorney General Letitia James separately sued Novatech and AWS Mining for operating an illegal pyramid scheme. The New York AG said that scammers drew $1 billion from investors, including 11,000 from New York. Now, these cryptocurrency companies targeted immigrant and religious communities who, with promise of financial freedom, but instead stole their money and drained their life savings. James said at the time. Now, according to the SEC complaint, Novatech promised investors profits and the safety of their funds, claiming they would be invested in crypto and foreign exchange markets. Instead, they used most of the funds to pay existing investors and promoters while siphoning millions for themselves. Now, when Novatech ultimately collapsed, most investors were not able to withdraw their investments, resulting in substantial losses, the SEC said. Now, while Novatech was able to steal hundreds of millions in crypto, the SEC's new complaint did not specify what type of cryptocurrency was stolen in the scam. Now, the SEC also filed charges against Novatech promoters Martin Zizi, Deplinu Dunbar, James Colbert, Corey Sampson, John Garofano, and Marsha Hadley, who the agency accuses of recruiting investors and promoters for the scheme. Now, Novatech paid them substantial commissions for the investors, and they and their networks recruited, the SEC said. When ZZ, Dunbar, Corbett, and Sampson became aware of certain red flags about Novatech, including regulatory actions taken against it by the US and Canadian regulators, they continue recruiting investors and downplay the red flags. Eesh, nasty. Now, the SEC said ZZ has already agreed to partially settle its charges by consenting to a $100,000 civil penalty pending the court approval, and is prohibited from participating in future similar activities. Now, ZZ, however, did not admit or deny the SEC's allegations, and the agency said nothing, that the other penalties will be determined at a later date. Now, the SEC did not immediately respond to requests for comment from Decrypt, but that's probably because, again, it's an ongoing case, and you never want to disclose information out there. But no, so this is another charge out there by the SEC, but this is one that should be done. So I know when I said in the beginning, then it's another case, kind of downplayed it. I'm reading these articles with you. I kind of take a look at the news article, get an idea of what it's going to be about, and then I read it with you. So this is all happening live, but no, with this type of case should happen, because I hate when people get scammed out there. We just had another gentleman come into the club today, told us his story, and we just had to tell him straight up, right then and there, that was a scam. I'm sorry. It's this is a very hefty and hard lesson to learn, but hopefully it doesn't deter you away from it. But no, it's these people do need to go after, because they're the scammers and nobody likes scammers. But yeah, sad to hear about that. But just be careful out there. Again, what was something on here that was it? Yeah, these guys are promising extra returns. Just do it yourself. Don't listen to anybody. If someone messaged you on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Meta, just whatever it is, it's you may think you're getting a good deal because you're going, oh, these guys know what they're doing. Oh, they're only going to give me you're only going to take 10% of what they earn from what I earn. But then once they build your trust up, let you do some withdrawals every now and then, eventually they're going to give you some spiel. It's oh no, you need to send us more money. Apparently that one was you need to pay the taxes on it, but it's that doesn't work that way. So just do not listen to anybody who's going to tell you to send them money. They're going to invest it for you. Don't do that. It's that's a big red flag. Take control of your assets, taking control of your money. Start learning, reading some more, and just understand the markets and how they all work. It's a Wild West world out there, and you got to be very careful. So don't just trust anybody with it. Trust yourself, and I guess that's the best thing I can say about that. So that is that news article for you. Let's move on to our final one. I believe another blockchain is down at the moment, and this is on the Cosmos chain. But yeah, so this one's coming from Cointelegraph, and looks like the Kanto chain targets fix amid a 33-hour outage caused by the consensus issue. The Kanto blockchain has been down for over a day, and the team has scheduled an upgrade to fix the issue for August 12th, so that's today, which is happening. Now, who is the Kanto? I don't even know. I just saw that it was down. I saw it was on the Cosmos blockchain, so if you're using it and just still want more information, here you go. So let's go through this article. Cosmos Base Layer 1 blockchain Kanto says it's planning to implement an upgrade on August 12th to address its ongoing 33-hour outage, which it says was caused by an issue with consensus. Now, launched on August 2022, Kanto styles itself as a permissionless, general-purpose blockchain designed for decentralized finance applications that is also Ethereum's virtual machine compatible. And here's that transaction of their blockchain. The Kanto blockchain has been down for over a full day now. Ugh, scary. Now, according to Kanto's scan, Block Explorer, the Kanto blockchain has been down for over a day now, with the last transaction block at was at 10,847,516, which occurred at 2:29 a.m. on August 11th. Etherscan also shows no new transactions on Kanto in the last 33 hours and only 2 transactions in the last 46 hours. Now, in August 12th update posted to Kanto's official social media account on X, the team confirmed a problem that has temporarily halted the chain. Kanto claims an issue with the consensus is the culprit behind the outage, but did not provide any other details other than an upgrade to address the issue. It is scheduled for 12 p.m. UTC time on August 12th, so that'll happen, maybe. Now, a consensus mechanism validates a transaction and marks it as authentic, listing it on the blockchain. Now, another update, the Callisto upgrade was locked in for the blockchain on August 9th, and Kanto has not addressed whether this went through or not, or if there is a link between Castillo upgrade and the current outage. So despite the ongoing outage, Kanto does say that users shouldn't be alarmed, and once the consensus problem has been fixed, they expect all usual functions to resume as normal. Now, all funds are safe. Once the change resumes, user will be able to access all activities as usual, Kanto said. Now, the Kanto blockchain announced a plan to migrate to Ethereum network in September 2023 and became a Layer 2 network. However, that decision was reversed in March 2024 and has remained a Layer 1 blockchain. Now, DeFi Llama data shows that activity on the blockchain surged in February 2023, but has since been sliding down the rankings to become the 80th largest blockchain by total value locked. So yeah, so another blockchain down, and I don't know. So this was supposed to be a Layer 2, meaning I guess it's more centralized if they're having troubles with the consensus, because blockchain shouldn't go down and then be restarted, or is this just frozen? And what if this is the same as Solana situation? I gotta do a little bit more research on that, and I'll be back to you guys on it. But no, so yeah, this sucks. When the blockchain is down, then you can't do nothing on any of the networks. So I believe this is a Kanto blockchain damage, but not the Cosmos blockchain. So everything on Cosmos is still fine, but Kanto was down. But yeah, so that is all the news articles I have for you. Hopefully you guys didn't have any money on Kanto. Hopefully you guys don't have any fat fingers out there for sending Ethereum transactions. And what else did we cover? I don't know. It was quite a few, but again, just very, very low at news articles. But that is it for you. Let's take a look at the fear and greed index out there. What are people's emotions feeling like today? We are right at the 50 mark, so right in the middle. People aren't fearful, they aren't greedy. So this can go either way. So yeah, when it's a low news article, like we're not swinging in the fear territory because the news didn't really bring out like any FUD, fear for people to sell. And then again, there wasn't really any news out there as well to cause people to be greedy and start just accumulating a bunch. So yeah, we're just at the 50 territory. We're neutral. We'll see which way we sway. And as always, just remember, when people are fearful, it's a good time to buy. But when people are greedy, the market might be due for a correction. Now, Bitcoin's price is currently at 59,000. We are up 0.13% in the last 24 hours. And Ethereum is at 2,687, up 4%. So that is it for you. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I had a pretty nice one. Went to the beach, had Korean barbecue, played with Baxter a bit. Yeah, she's still here. But it was a nice day. So I hope you guys had a great weekend too. And I will be keeping you informed on more crypto news articles throughout the week. So until next time, the Crypto Sherpa and Baxter are out.